There's been a noticeable, though not overwhelming, military presence on the streets of Cairo in certainly the first few hours of today. Now, as you'd expect, security very tight around the court itself, where Mr Mansour was being sworn in as interim president. But it wasn't all the heavy stuff. An unannounced fly-past over central Cairo by the Egyptian Air Force there. The planes trailing smoke in the colours of the Egyptian flag as well, just trying to underline perhaps that the military was acting in the interests of the country when it took President Mohamed Morsi out of the equation. Well, let's just pick up on some of the issues that we're faced with now, because I'm joined by the editor with me now, the editor of BBC Arabic Service TV network, Edgar Jalad. And Edgar, it is fascinating as this unfolds, but a very, very tense moment, isn't it, really, for Mr Mansour to establish some sense of calm when there is so much excitement, agitation, nervousness, particularly in Cairo.
Exactly. That's why the army stepped in to just play the role of the balance between the aspirations of people and the people of Egypt who are demonstrating against Morsi.
But it's going to take time even to persuade people that's all the army is doing, isn't it?
Yes, this is now the challenge. This is the big challenge, and these are the source of the worries of many people, especially all the political figures, not those, the youth in the streets who are very excited about seeing the departure of Mr. Morsi, but these personalities like the Salvation Front, the opposition people, they think that we don't want to replace Morsi's dictatorship by another one, which is the militaries in a coup. So they didn't want a coup, and they made it clear even before the army stepped in yesterday and announced this roadmap.
I mean, there are plenty of people who would say that Mr Morsi showed considerable contempt for the Constitutional Court, interestingly. For the likes of Mr Mansour, is this a rather sweet moment, do you think?
No, this is a big responsibility for him. This is a big responsibility because he is in the front line now. Even that this step or this move taken yesterday had all the technicalities of a coup. But in reality, they wanted to make it look like it's a roadmap. That's why when the statement was made yesterday by General Sisi, he was surrounded by political figures like Mr. Baradi and religious figures like the Mufti and the Copt Pope as well.
And do you think people generally will see Mr Mansour as at least a neutral in the scheme of things, or are they going to think, no, clearly he's anti-Morsi, he's aligned with the military? How are they going to perceive this?
Definitely. Now the situation is anti-Morsi because everybody who's going to replace Morsi is anti-Morsi. So this is true and this is obvious. But now the big challenge is to put the democracy back on track. And this is what the Americans, this is what many European leaders have expressed yesterday. They're worried by replacing Morsi by another dictatorship. They don't want to see the militaries ruling the country again. They wanted to see the democratic process back on track.
The military, nonetheless, presumably, is still going to have to play a pretty high-profile role, isn't it, when we've got more demonstrations which are bound to occur, possibly for weeks to come yet, of pro-Morsi and anti-Morsi demonstrations, and keeping them apart and keeping the lid on those.
This morning, and now minutes ago, the demonstrators or the organizers of the demonstrations, anti-Morsi demonstrations, they called off their demonstrations. But some people are preferring to stay there because they are worried. They want to see their demands implemented. And the source of these worries is that the army maybe is planning something for the future or grooming some personalities like Sisi himself to become president in the future.
That's an interesting point. Sorry, just to pick up on something that President Obama, of course, has expressed concerns, as many other countries have as well, about the way this has happened. There's a lot of money on the table here from America, isn't there?
Exactly.
$1.5 billion a year that could be, well, it is in jeopardy.
Yeah, this is the message to the army itself. So if you are going to replace this democratic process that started a year ago by a military ruling again and going back to Mubarak's era or some sort of Mubarak era, you are jeopardizing all our financial assistance
Well, there's another incentive or disincentive, whichever way you look at it. Edgar, for now, thanks very much.